Hello, family. Welcome to Storytime Mutually. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, and comment what you feel about the story. Thank you as you do so. Sit back as we dive into the story. In the heart of New York City, where dreams are born and chased, Emily and Jake had carved out a cozy life for themselves. Their small apartment was filled with warmth, laughter, and the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee every morning. Emily, a passionate writer, spent her days weaving tales of love and adventure, while Jake, a tech enthusiast, worked at one of the city's most prestigious firms. One crisp autumn morning, as Emily sat at her desk, sipping her coffee and staring at a blank page, her phone rang. The caller ID displayed a name she didn't expect to see: Mr. Thompson, Jake's boss. Known for his sharp wit and demanding nature, Mr. Thompson was not someone Emily interacted with often. Her heart skipped a beat as she answered the call. "Hello, Emily." Mr. Thompson's voice boomed through the phone. "I hope I'm not interrupting your writing." Emily chuckled nervously. "Not at all, Mr. Thompson. How can I help you?" "I was wondering if you could meet me at the Little Bean Cafe downtown this afternoon. There's something important I'd like to discuss with you," he said, his tone serious yet friendly. Emily hesitated for a moment, her mind racing with questions. Why would Jake's boss want to meet her? Was everything okay with Jake's job? She took a deep breath and agreed. "Sure, Mr. Thompson. I'll see you there at 2 p.m. As she hung up the phone, Emily couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. She spent the rest of the morning trying to focus on her writing, but her mind kept wandering back to the mysterious meeting. She decided to take a break and call her best friend, Clara, for some advice. "Clara, you won't believe who just called me," Emily said, her voice filled with excitement and anxiety. "Who?" Clara asked, her curiosity piqued. "Mr. Thompson, Jake's boss. He wants to meet me this afternoon." "What do you think it's about?" Emily asked, her voice trembling slightly. Clara laughed. "Maybe he wants to hire you as his personal writer. Or maybe he's finally realized how amazing you are and wants to steal you away from Jake." Emily rolled her eyes, laughing at Clara's ridiculous suggestions. "Very funny, Clara. But seriously, what do you think I should do?" Clara's voice turned serious. "Just go and hear him out, Emily. Whatever it is, you can handle it. And remember, you're amazing, and no one can take that away from you." Feeling a bit more confident, Emily thanked Clara and hung up the phone. She spent the next few hours getting ready, choosing an outfit that was both professional and comfortable. As she walked to the cafe, she couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and nervousness. The Little Bean Cafe was a charming little place, tucked away in a quiet corner of the city. As Emily entered, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the sound of soft jazz music welcomed her. She spotted Mr. Thompson sitting at a corner table, his eyes scanning a menu. He looked up as she approached, a warm smile spreading across his face. "Emily, thank you for coming," he said, standing up to greet her. Emily smiled back, trying to hide her nervousness. "Of course, Mr. Thompson. It's not every day I get a call from Jake's boss," she said, taking a seat across from him. Mr. Thompson laughed, his eyes twinkling with amusement. "Please call me Richard. And I must admit, I don't usually call my employees' spouses for meetings. But I have something important to discuss with you." Emily's heart raced as she waited for him to continue. Richard took a deep breath and began. "Emily, I must confess, I've always admired your spirit and intelligence. Jake is lucky to have you. And I think you have a lot to offer, not just as a writer, but as a person." Emily blushed at the compliment, feeling a mix of flattery and discomfort. "Thank you, Richard. That means a lot coming from you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Richard leaned in, his eyes locked onto hers. "I have a proposition for you, Emily. I'd like you to consider working with me on a special project. It would require some late nights and close collaboration, but I think you'd be perfect for it." Emily was taken aback. She had never considered working with Richard, and the idea of late nights with him made her uncomfortable. She politely declined, explaining that her writing kept her busy enough. But Richard was persistent. "Think about it, Emily. The offer stands. And who knows, Maybe we'll discover something amazing together, he said, his voice filled with conviction. As Emily left the cafe, her mind was a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. She couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss, but she also felt a strange sense of excitement. Little did she know, this meeting would set off a chain of events that would test her love, loyalty, and strength. But for now, she walked back home, the crisp autumn air filling her lungs and a newfound determination filling her heart. She was ready to face whatever came her way, with Jake by her side. The days that followed Emily's meeting with Richard were filled with a mix of curiosity and unease. She couldn't shake off the feeling that something was brewing beneath the surface, something that could potentially disrupt the peaceful rhythm of her life with Jake. She found herself staring at her laptop screen, her fingers hovering over the keyboard, but her mind elsewhere. One evening, as Jake returned home from work, Emily noticed something different about him. He looked tired, but there was also a spark in his eyes that she hadn't seen in a while. She greeted him with a warm smile and a kiss, trying to hide her own worries. "How was your day, Jake?" she asked, helping him out of his coat. Jake sighed, running a hand through his hair. "It was interesting. Richard has been on my case about a new project. He's been pushing me to take on more responsibilities," he said, a hint of frustration in his voice. Emily's heart skipped a beat. She remembered Richard's proposition and the way he had looked at her. She decided to keep it to herself for now, not wanting to add to Jake's stress. Instead, she tried to lighten the mood. "Well, maybe he's just trying to bring out the best in you. After all, you're the most talented tech guy I know," she said, playfully nudging him. Jake chuckled, pulling her into a hug. "And you're the most biased wife I know. But thank you, Emily. I needed that." As they sat down for dinner, Emily noticed Jake's phone buzzing with notifications. He glanced at it, his expression turning serious. She couldn't help but feel a pang of curiosity. "Is everything okay, Jake?" she asked, trying to keep her voice casual. Jake looked up, a forced smile on his face. "Yeah, just some work stuff. Nothing to worry about," he said, quickly putting his phone away. Emily nodded, but she couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off. She decided to keep an eye on things just in case. Over the next few weeks, Jake started coming home later and later. He would often be glued to his laptop, typing away furiously. Emily tried to be understanding, but she couldn't help feeling a bit neglected. One night, as she lay in bed, waiting for Jake to join her, she heard him on the phone in the living room. "I know, Richard. I'm working as fast as I can. Yes, I understand the importance of keeping it under wraps." "No, Emily doesn't know anything about it," Jake said, his voice low. Emily's heart sank. She felt a mix of hurt and anger. Why was Jake keeping secrets from her? She decided to confront him the next day. The following morning, as Jake got ready for work, Emily mustered up the courage to speak her mind. "Jake, I overheard your conversation with Richard last night. What's going on? Why are you keeping secrets from me?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. Jake looked taken aback. He sighed and sat down on the bed, taking Emily's hand in his. "Emily, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to keep you in the dark. I've been working on a side project, a revolutionary communication app. I wanted to surprise you with its success," he explained, his eyes filled with sincerity. Emily felt a surge of emotions. She was hurt that Jake had kept such a big secret from her, but she also felt a sense of pride and love for him. She took a deep breath and said, "Jake, I appreciate that you wanted to surprise me, but we're a team. We should face challenges and celebrate victories together." Jake nodded, a smile spreading across his face. "You're right, Emily.
I'm sorry.
From now on, no more secrets. I promise," he said, pulling her into a tight hug. Emily felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She knew that they could face anything together, as long as they were honest with each other. That evening, Jake decided to take a break from work and spend some quality time with Emily. They ordered takeout from their favorite Italian restaurant and watched a cheesy romantic comedy, laughing and cuddling on the couch. As the movie ended, Jake turned to Emily, his eyes filled with love. "Emily, I want you to know that you mean the world to me. I'm sorry if I ever made you feel otherwise. I promise to always be honest with you no matter what," he said, his voice filled with emotion. Emily felt tears welling up in her eyes. She cupped Jake's face in her hands and said, "I know, Jake. And I promise the same. We're in this together, remember?" Jake smiled and leaned in, pressing his lips against hers in a soft, tender kiss. Emily melted into his embrace, feeling a sense of peace and contentment. As they lay in bed that night, wrapped in each other's arms, Emily couldn't help but feel grateful for their love. She knew that they would face challenges and obstacles, but as long as they had each other, they could overcome anything. Little did they know, their love story was about to take an unexpected turn, filled with laughter, tears, and the unbelievable magic of believing in each other's dreams. But for now, they drifted off to sleep, their hearts beating in sync, ready to face whatever came their way, together. The revelation of Jake's secret project brought a new energy into their relationship. Emily and Jake worked together, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. Emily helped Jake brainstorm ideas, test features, and even wrote compelling copy for the app's interface. Their apartment became a hub of creativity and collaboration, filled with the hum of laptops and the occasional burst of laughter. Meanwhile, Richard continued to play a significant role in their lives. He provided the financial backing Jake needed to bring his app to life, but his intentions weren't purely professional. Emily noticed that Richard's compliments became more frequent and personal. He would send her flowers with notes that read, "To brighten your day, just like you brighten mine." Emily would blush, feeling a mix of flattery and discomfort. She tried to brush it off, focusing on supporting Jake and his dream. One evening, as Emily and Jake were wrapping up a late-night work session, Emily's phone buzzed with a message from Richard. "Emily, I can't stop thinking about you. Let's have dinner, just the two of us. I promise it will be worth your while." Emily's heart raced as she read the message. She looked at Jake, who was deeply engrossed in his coding, oblivious to the turmoil inside her. She took a deep breath and replied, "Richard, I appreciate your support, but I can't do this. I love Jake, and I won't betray his trust." Richard's response was swift. "Emily, I understand, but please think about it. I won't give up so easily." Emily sighed, putting her phone away. She decided not to tell Jake about the message, not wanting to add to his stress. Instead, she focused on being the best partner she could be, supporting him through the ups and downs of his project. Days turned into weeks, and Jake's app began to take shape. The late nights and endless cups of coffee were paying off. One afternoon, as Emily was out running errands, she bumped into Richard at a local coffee shop. He greeted her with a warm smile, his eyes lighting up. "Emily, what a pleasant surprise. Can I buy you a coffee?" he asked, gesturing to an empty table. Emily hesitated for a moment but agreed, not wanting to be rude. As they sat down, Richard leaned in, his voice low. "Emily, I know you're loyal to Jake, and I respect that. But I can't help how I feel about you. I think we could be great together, both personally and professionally." Emily felt a pang of sympathy for Richard, but stood her ground. "Richard, I appreciate your honesty, but I love Jake. I can't betray him, not for anything in the world," she said firmly. Richard nodded, a hint of sadness in his eyes. "I understand, Emily. But if you ever change your mind, know that I'll be here, waiting for you." As Emily left the coffee shop, she felt a sense of relief. She had made her feelings clear, and Richard had respected her decision. She walked home, the crisp autumn air filling her lungs, and a newfound determination filling her heart. She was ready to face whatever challenges came her way, with Jake by her side. However, the universe had other plans. One evening, as Jake and Emily were celebrating a milestone in the app's development, Jake's phone rang. It was Richard, his voice urgent. "Jake, we need to talk. There's a problem with the app's funding. Meet me at the office in an hour." Jake's face paled as he hung up the phone. He looked at Emily, his eyes filled with worry. "Emily, I have to go. I don't know what's happening, but I need to fix this." Emily nodded, her heart heavy with concern. "Go, Jake. I'll be here, waiting for you. We'll face this together, remember?" As Jake rushed out the door, Emily couldn't shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong. She paced around the apartment, her mind racing with worst-case scenarios. She decided to call Clara, her best friend, for some moral support. Clara, something's wrong with Jake's app. Richard called him to the office, and I'm freaking out, Emily said, her voice trembling. Clara's voice was calm and reassuring. Emily, take a deep breath. Whatever it is, you and Jake will figure it out. You're a team, remember? And if Richard tries anything funny, you have my permission to kick him where it hurts. Emily laughed, feeling a bit better. Thanks, Clara. I needed that. As she hung up the phone, Emily took a deep breath, steeling herself for whatever challenges lay ahead. She knew that as long as she and Jake had each other, they could overcome anything. But little did she know, their love and loyalty were about to be tested in ways they never imagined. The hours ticked by, and Jake still hadn't returned. Emily tried calling him, but his phone went straight to voicemail. She felt a knot of worry tighten in her stomach. Just as she was about to call Richard, she heard the sound of the front door opening. Jake walked in, his face pale and exhausted. Jake, what happened? Is everything okay? Emily asked, rushing to his side. Jake sighed, running a hand through his hair. Richard wants to pull out of the project. He says it's too risky, and he can't afford to invest any more money into it. Emily's heart sank. She knew how much this app meant to Jake, how hard he had worked to bring it to life. She took a deep breath and said, Jake, we'll figure this out. We won't let Richard's decision stop us. We'll find another way. Jake looked at Emily, his eyes filled with gratitude and love. You're right, Emily. We won't give up. We'll fight for our dream together. As they embraced, Emily felt a surge of determination. She knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but with Jake by her side, she was ready to face anything. Little did they know, their love story was about to take an unexpected turn, filled with laughter, tears, and the unbelievable magic of believing in each other's dreams. But for now, they stood united, ready to face whatever came their way, together. The days that followed Richard's decision to pull out of the project were filled with uncertainty and stress. Jake and Emily spent countless hours brainstorming alternative funding options, reaching out to potential investors, and refining the app's features to make it even more appealing. Despite the challenges, their bond grew stronger, fueled by their shared determination and love. One evening, as they sat at their kitchen table, surrounded by stacks of papers and empty coffee mugs, Jake looked at Emily with a mixture of exhaustion and hope. Emily, no matter what happens, I want you to know that I couldn't have done any of this without you. You're my rock, my inspiration, and my partner in every sense of the word. Emily felt tears welling up in her eyes. She took Jake's hand and said, And you're mine, Jake. We're in this together, remember? And together, we'll find a way to make your dream a reality. Just as they were about to call it a night, Jake's phone rang. It was an unknown number, and Jake hesitated before answering. Hello. A familiar voice echoed through the phone. Jake, it's Richard. I've been thinking about our last conversation, and I realize I made a mistake. I want to reinvest in your app. I believe in you, and I believe in your vision. Jake was speechless. He looked at Emily, his eyes wide with disbelief. Richard, I don't know what to say. Thank you. Thank you so much. Emily couldn't believe her ears. She felt a surge of relief and gratitude. Despite Richard's past advances, she knew that his belief in Jake's app was genuine. She smiled at Jake, her heart filled with joy. The next day, Richard invited Emily and Jake to his office. As they sat across from him, Richard looked at Emily with a newfound respect. Emily, I must admit, I had ulterior motives when I first approached you. I thought that by winning you over, I could secure your loyalty and, in turn, control Jake's project. But I was wrong. He paused, his eyes filled with sincerity. Your unwavering loyalty to Jake, even in the face of temptation, has shown me the true meaning of love and dedication. I realized that I couldn't stand in the way of something so pure and powerful. That's why I decided to reinvest in Jake's app. Because I believe in him, and I believe in the love that fuels his dreams. Emily was touched by Richard's words. She reached out and took his hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. "Thank you, Richard. Your support means the world to us." The next few months were a whirlwind of activity. With Richard's renewed support, Jake's app gained momentum, attracting the attention of tech giants and investors alike. The app's launch date was set, and the anticipation was palpable. Emily and Jake worked tirelessly, their days filled with meetings, interviews, and endless cups of coffee. As the launch day approached, Emily and Jake decided to take a much-needed break. They spent the day exploring the city, hand in hand, laughing and reminiscing about their journey. They visited the spot where they had their first date, shared a slice of pizza at their favorite pizzeria, and even took a romantic stroll through Central Park. As they sat on a bench, watching the sunset paint the sky with hues of orange and pink, Jake turned to Emily, his eyes filled with love. "Emily, no matter what happens tomorrow, I want you to know that you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. You've stood by me through thick and thin, and I couldn't be more grateful." Emily smiled, her heart swelling with love. "And you're the best thing that's ever happened to me, Jake. We're a team, remember? And together, we can conquer the world." The launch day arrived, and the city was abuzz with excitement. Jake's app was an instant sensation, revolutionizing the way people communicated and bringing them closer in ways never imagined. The launch party was a star-studded affair, filled with laughter, cheers, and the clinking of champagne glasses. As Jake and Emily stood on the stage, surrounded by their friends, family, and supporters, Jake took the microphone and addressed the crowd. "Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. This app is more than just a piece of technology. It's a testament to the power of love, dedication, and believing in each other's dreams." He turned to Emily, his eyes filled with emotion. "And to my amazing wife, Emily, thank you for being my partner, my cheerleader, and my inspiration. I couldn't have done this without you." Then, Jake looked at Richard, who was standing in the front row, a proud smile on his face. "And a special thanks to Richard. Your belief in this project and your respect for the love that drives it has been instrumental in bringing us to this moment. Thank you for being a true supporter and friend." The crowd erupted in cheers as Jake pulled Emily into a tight embrace, sealing their triumph with a tender kiss. As they danced under the glittering lights, surrounded by the people they loved, Emily and Jake knew that their love story was far from over. It was just the beginning of a new chapter, filled with endless possibilities and the unbreakable bond of their love. And so, their love story continued, filled with laughter, tears, and the unbelievable magic of believing in each other's dreams. They proved that love and loyalty could conquer all, even in the face of temptation and adversity. Their journey became a beacon of hope and inspiration for many, a testament to the power of true love. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you kindly subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.